Among the two in the Big Ten, and then, of course, what TCU has done, how do we feel about that as our top four? And then we know that one of those two are going to lose. Where do you think the loser is based on what we just talked about with Oregon or somebody representing a one-loss Pac-12 championship?
Go ahead, Clint.
Yeah, look, I mean, I love Michigan and Ohio State being 2 and 3. I love it because one of them's got to take the bull by the horns. One of them's got to win this thing out. If you're asking me, who do I think that is? I think that's what I heard you say. I would bet on Ohio State. I think Ohio State's defense. I know personally, I haven't talked enough about their defense. I think their defense is absolutely real. And I think when you look at the quarterback position, Ohio State wins that battle head over heels. And unless the young fella at Michigan just comes out and surprises us all, which stranger things have happened. Michigan gets good players, and Harbaugh knows how to develop them. So it could happen. We'll see. But I would pick Ohio State right there. I love those two both being in the mix simply because they've got to play each other at this point in time. I believe in Ohio State being a top 4 team. I don't know that I'm a huge believer in Michigan being a top 4 team right now. I think there's a lot left to be desired with Michigan. But they are 9-0. They've taken care of business. Other teams have fallen off, and I think they're next in line. So the one thing I don't like about the Ohio State-Michigan neck and neck is the conversation that follows of, can 2 Big Ten teams get into the college football playoff? I think anything can happen. So, I mean, there's no need in sitting here saying, well, it can or it can't. But I'm assuming that other teams are going to remain one loss, like Tennessee or like Oregon or like USC or UCLA, whoever comes out of the Pac-12. And I just don't think that a team can run a schedule of a subpar schedule, let's just say that, then lose a monster football game late in the season and still be considered to be a college football playoff team. So that's my only problem with Michigan and Ohio State being in the top 4 right now, is that all of a sudden everybody wants to have a conversation of, well, if the loser may still get in. And I'm pretty bullish on that. I don't think that should happen.
What do you think, George?
So just to jog with you, the best things that Michigan does: run the ball and play defense, travel. Like, it doesn't matter the weather. Let it snow, pouring down rain, whatever it is, poor field conditions. The things Michigan does best. Ohio State, Tennessee, the rest of these teams, we're perimeter teams, we're airborne, we move around, we got little guys that like turn corners and all the rest of that stuff. And we've been talking about this. Michigan's offensive line might be the best unit in college football, like the singular unit, a unit within a unit. So there's my faith in Michigan. Yes, those kids were not there when the schedule got put together, but they're handling it Saturday in, Saturday out. The loser of Ohio State, Michigan is going to be in an interesting deal because they're going to sit next to Oregon and Tennessee right now, right? And yeah, something strange could happen, but right now, TCU, Oregon, and Tennessee, and the loser of Ohio State and Michigan. If you just look at Oregon and Tennessee, they all three, the Michigan and Ohio State loser they lost to a top 3 team. Oregon lost to a top 3 team, and so did Tennessee. They all can claim it. They lost to a top 3 team. Now, you can go back over the body of work, whatever it is, but I do know this. When the committee does get in there, they do have that human element. Yes, resumes. Yes, strength of schedule, but also eyeball test. And that's where that loser of the rivalry, it will get a lot of credibility, because these two are your heavyweights, and they've been so since the beginning of the season. And really, they've been so over the last couple of years. If Clemson got this much love on legacy for what they've been doing, and hell, some of them kids aren't even in football anymore, and they're still getting all this credibility. What are you going to do with Ohio State and Michigan, which combined has 2 losses in the last year plus, and one of them is in the playoffs? So I think it's going to be very interesting, but that eyeball test is absolutely going to figure in.